consignment note. If any one of them is missing, then you cannot be considered to be a GTA. Ankit ji, one small question. What language should I use? Whether completely English or Hindi or mixed? Because I don't know the which part of the country our listeners are. If they are from southern India, then of course they would be liking to listen in English.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you can use English only.
I'm sorry, you're not audible.
Sir, I am audible.
Yeah.
Sir, please use English language. Sir, English language.
Okay. I'll continue as per the organizers in the foreign language only, which is window to the world, English.
Okay, thank you.
So there are two conditions. One is that transport of goods by road, and another is the consignment note, issuing the consignment note. Consignment note, after the consignment note, the phrase used by whatever name called. So it could be called the goods receipt, it could be called the bilty, it could be called the transport receipt, it could be called by whatever name called. But if issues a consignment note, then my dear friends, he shall be considered, or it shall be considered as a GTA as per GST provisions, notification 12/17 CTR. Who is a GTO? Individual truck tempo operator who do not issue any consignment note and not covered within the meaning of the term are GTO. The one who is an individual truck or a tempo operator who does not issue any receipt of those goods or the freight or anything else, then that particular person or operator shall be called as the goods transport operator. And my dear friends, in that situation, persons who are only engaged in making supplies of taxable goods or both, where total tax is payable by recipient on reverse charge basis, are exempt from registration. So let me be very clear about this thing also at the beginning. If you are a goods transport agent and your supplies are considered to be always in reverse charge, I hope I am clear about it. I am repeating. If you are considered to be a GTA and your supplies are completely under reverse charge, the tax on which is completely payable to be under reverse charge, then you are exempt to take registration. You do not require registration. So let me rephrase it, because this is very important aspect of the GTA. First aspect, the one who issues consignment note and transport goods by road shall be considered to be GTA. And if considered to be GTA and his supplies are all taxed under reverse charge by way of notification 13/2017 CTR, then he is not required to take registration, my dear friends. He does not require any registration. And however, in case of interstate transactions liable for RCM, such notification of exemption from registration is not issued, and compulsory registration under section 24 is mandated. Interesting to note that under IGST, exemption from registration is granted based on threshold limit of 20 lakh. This exemption is only for your intrastate transactions, but when you are involved in the interstate transactions of supplies on which tax is payable under reverse charge, if you are a GTA and happens to provide your services to any person outside your state, it is considered to be interstate supply, because the location of the supplier and place of supply are in two different states. So shall be considered to be interstate supply. In that particular supply, the exemption is only with respect to up to aggregate turnover of 20 lakh and 10 lakh in case of special states or special category states. So friends, next important aspect which is worthwhile to mention here, it can be seen that issuance of a consignment note is sine qua non for a supplier of service to be considered as a GTA. So if the consignment note is not issued, nobody can be a GTA. It is indispensable, sine qua non. It is indispensable for this transaction that unless a consignment note is issued, that transporter cannot be considered to be a GTA, my dear friends. If such a consignment note is not issued by the transporter, the service provider will not come within the ambit of GTA. If a consignment note is issued, it indicates that, listen to me very carefully, if a consignment note is issued, it indicates that the lien on the goods has been transferred to the transporter and the transporter becomes responsible for the goods till its safe delivery to the consignee. It is only the services of such GTA who assumes agency functions. He shall be considered to be the agent of the consigner for the purpose of transportation of goods to the consignee that is being brought into the GST net. Only that particular transporter who issues a consignment note and assumes the agency function will be there. As a corollary, the services provided by such individual transporters who do not issue a consignment note will be covered by entry number 18. हम इसके बारे में we'll be talking about this particular entry a little later, and it shall be exempted. In other words, here only just one glimpse that if you do not issue consignment note, you shall be considered to be GTO. If you are GTO, if you are individual truck operator or a tempo operator and you do not issue any consignment note, then as per entry number 18 of 12/17 CTR, you shall be considered to be, the supplies made by you shall be considered to be exempt supplies, my dear friends. Now the question arises, what is the consignment note? That is a very important question to address, my dear friends, here. Consignment note is neither defined in the Act nor in notification 12/17. Guidance can be taken from the meaning prescribed to the term under explanation to Rule 4B of Service Tax Rules 1994. In terms of said rule, we have taken the definition or the guidance or the inference from the erstwhile Service Tax Rules 1994. In the said rule, listen to me carefully, read it carefully, that then only you will be able to identify which document shall be considered to be a consignment note. When a consignment note is issued, transporter is GTA, GST is applicable. When consignment note not issued, GTA is not there, GTO is there. Exemption entry number 18 attracts no GST. So that is very important to understand. What is consignment note? In terms of said rule, consignment note means a document issued by GTA against the receipt of goods for the purpose of transport of goods by road in goods carriage, which is serially numbered. First of all, the condition should be, it should be serially numbered, contains the name of the consigner and consignee, registration number of the goods carriage, goods carrying vehicle in which the goods are transported, details of the goods transported, which type of goods are there, person, details of the place of origin, from where the goods are being started, originated. Say for example, Delhi to Mumbai, the goods are originated from Delhi, going to Mumbai, and destination, Mumbai. Person liable for paying service tax, whether consigner, consignee, or the goods transport agency. It could be anybody. This question also we will be addressing, that who is the person liable to pay the tax. Very interesting question, my dear friends. You might be wondering that in case of GTA, the consignee will always be the person who shall require to pay the tax under reverse charge as per notification 13/17. But it is not the case, my dear friends. It would be the person who is the recipient of these services provided by the GTA. And recipient, who shall be the recipient, we will be discussing very soon in the next few slides. So in order to understand what is a consignment note, these are the details which are required to be mentioned in the consignment note. A person owing only a single conveyance providing services or transportation of goods in most cases does not issue a consignment note. Will there be any liability to pay tax on same under RCM? Answer is no, because if an individual truck operator transport goods does not issue consignment note, it is an exempted supply and there is no liability for RCM also. I hope I will continue clarifying your doubts wherever those would arise, And even if at all some doubts or the apprehensions still remain with your mind, you may ask me at the end of the session. If the organizer GST Corner can please guide me till what time I have the time. What is the duration? Till 5 I can continue.
Hello.
You are audible.
Yes, sir. The seminar timing will be 4:15, and we have 15 minutes for taking.
I'm sorry, your voice is getting echoed. Seminar timing is till.
Yes, sir. We have a timing up to 4:15.
चैट बॉक्स में लिख के दीजिए, मुझे सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, बहुत इको हो रही है आपकी आवाज में.
Yes, sir. Our voice is audible.
Yeah, now better.
Yes, sir. We have a time up to 4:15, and we have 15 minutes for query session.
Wonderful. I'll do that. Thank you. I was expecting this only. I just was reconfirming. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. So next slide, my dear friends. Now, next question we will be addressing under the GTA regime is, please be with me. You are going to enjoy, my dear friends. I have tried to cover each and every question which may pop up in front of you. What are the exemptions available for GTA under notification 12/17? First exemption is entry number 18, which I have already discussed with you. Services by way of transportation of goods by road, except the services of goods transport agency, courier agency, which shall be taxed. By inland waterways, these all shall be exempted. Entry number 21, agriculture produce. If you are transporting agriculture produce, then no, this shall be exempted. If listen to me carefully, if the services provided by the transporter are exempted, then no question arises for reverse charge, my dear friends. Then no question arises for reverse charge also under notification 13/17. If the single consignment is less than equal to 1500 rupees, no question arises for, this is an exempted supply. If the multiple consignment less than equal to 750 rupees with the goods carrying vehicle, for example, I am the transporter, I am carrying goods of A, B and C, and all those 3 A, B and C consignments, the freight for each consignment is less than rupees 750 or equal to 750, then also I do not, those all services are exempted services and do not require any reverse charge to be paid. Exempted services. Milk, and let me reiterate for all my members here. If I provide exclusive services which the tax on which is exclusively paid under reverse charge by the recipient, no registration required. Exemption is provided under section 23 subsection 2 of the Act. If you are transporting milk, salt, food grain including flour, pulses and rice, no, it is an exempted supply of transportation of goods, no GST, no RCM. Organic manure, newspaper or magazines registered with registrar of newspapers, relief materials meant for victims of natural or man-made disasters, calamities, accidents or mishaps. If you are carrying those material also, relief materials, still you don't require, those are exempted supply of services of transportation, no GST, no reverse charge. Defense or military equipment, no GST, no reverse charge. I hope many of your doubts must have been clarified in this slide. Kaun say what all supplies are exempted in case of transportation of goods by road by GTA. If GTA is not there, GTO is there, then no question of going to entry number 21. It is already there in entry number 18. The previous entry on this slide, which is visible at present. Then entry number 21 capital A. The previous entry was 21. Now entry 21 capital A. Services provided by GTA to an unregistered person, including an unregistered CTP other than the specified recipients. If you are a GTA providing services to unregistered persons, even the unregistered casual taxable persons, no GST on the services provided by the goods transport agent by way of transportation of goods by road. It means if no services exempted supply, then no GST under RCM also. I am repeating why, because this is a common apprehension comes when it is an exempted supply. My dear friends, no RCM. Entry number 21 capital B, below mentioned persons who are registered only for purpose of TDS and not for making a taxable supply, that is also, if transportation is made to them, exempted. Entry number 22, services by way of giving on hire. That you need to be very careful, my dear friends. Read it very carefully. Services by way of giving on hire. Giving on hire and GTA services, goods transport agency services, are two different services. When you give a motor vehicle for hire, then the transporter does not assume the agency relationship, does not come into the agency relationship with the consignor. But when the transporter assumes the responsibility of goods, so in a way he becomes the agent of the consignor. So if he is giving goods carrying vehicle on hire, then following exemptions shall be available for those goods carrying vehicle also on hire. If it is given to a state transport undertaking, a motor vehicle meant to carry more than 12 passengers, exempted. If it is given on hire to a local authority, an electrically operated vehicle meant to carry more than 12 passengers, exempted. If a vehicle given on hire to a GTA, listen to me very carefully, to a GTA, a means of transportation of goods, it is exempted. Now listen to me carefully. If I am a goods transport operator and providing goods carrying vehicle on hire to a GTA, and resultantly, consequently, GTA provides services to the consignor of goods, supplier of goods, then the supply between the GTO, who is supplying goods on hire to GTA for further transportation of goods as GTA, this first limb of the transaction shall be exempt. I am repeating. If I am giving goods carrying vehicle on hire to GTA, who is further supplying goods on behalf of Mr. X, X is a consignor, then that supply made by me of giving on hire goods carrying vehicle to GTA shall be exempt. This is a very common question. But now next question arises whether GTA shall require to pay tax under reverse charge in this very transaction. If it is exempt, my dear friends, I have told you earlier also, if it is exempt, no question of reverse charge. So if I am GTO giving on hire the goods carrying vehicle to GTA, I have sufficiently deliberated upon the difference between GTO and GTA. I hope you are clear with that. So if you are GTO giving on hire goods carrying vehicle to GTA, exempted, and no question arises for GTA also to pay tax under reverse charge because the transaction is exempted under entry number 22 of 12/17 CTR. Now this is all about GTA entry number 22. Now next question. These were the exemptions, my dear friends. I hope you are clear with this. If you have any doubt, please make a note of it about relating to any exemption. Then you may ask me the question in the question answer Q&A session also, with respect to exemptions also, if you have any doubt with respect to exemptions. Now moving ahead, my dear friends, let's talk about the situation of reverse charge under for the purpose of GTA under GST. Now, as I told you earlier, that this is governed by notification 13/17 CTR, and the entry which deals with this particular reverse charge is entry number 1. Entry number 1. Now, listen to me very carefully here. My dear friends, if you are a GTA, I am repeating at the cost of repetition. When would you be considered to be a GTA? If you are transporting goods by road and issues a consignment note as per notification 12/17 CTR, then you shall be considered to be GTA. If you are a GTA, RCM is applicable because the supplies made by GTA other than those are exempted. I am repeating, please make note of it. Supplies made by GTA other than those which are exempted under 18, 20, 21A, 28, 21, 22, all these entries under notification 12/17. Supplies made by GTA other than those exempted shall be liable to be taxed under reverse charge by virtue of notification entry number 1 of notification of 13/17 CTR. So now let's read the notification 13/17 CTR carefully. This slide is dedicated to that entry number 1. RCM is applicable when recipient of his GTA is one of the specified recipients, and who is liable to pay the RCM under for GTA. The person liable to pay GST is such recipient who is, when the entry is attracted, when first condition is you are a GTA, first condition is you are a GTA, supplier of services is GTA. Second condition is the recipient are the specified recipients, and who is liable to pay tax under the RCM? The recipient of those services shall be liable to pay tax under RCM. So three things or three terms we have to understand. First term is GTA, second term is specified recipient, third term is recipient. Now specified recipient is clarified under notification 13/17 entry number 1 only. Factory, registered under Factories Registration Act, society, cooperative society, person registered under CGST Act, body corporate, partnership firm registered or unregistered, AOP, casual taxable person in taxable territory. So body corporate will include LLP also, my dear friends. Let's be very clear about it. In notification 13/17, wherever the term body corporate is used, it includes LLP also, limited liability partnership firm also. So body corporate includes LLP as well. So if the GTA provides goods transport services to the specified recipient, then the recipient is liable to pay the tax. Now the third term to be understood is recipient. Who is the recipient who is liable to pay tax under reverse charge under entry number 1 notification 13/17? Recipient is the one, the person here written on your slide number 10. The recipient, the person who pays or liable to pay the freight for the transportation of goods by road and goods carriage located in the taxable territory shall be treated as the person who receives the services. The person who pays or liable to pay the freight. Now, in many situations, this could be a possibility that the freight is to pay. When the freight is under a model of to pay, it means it is to be paid by the recipient, no connection with the consignor, supplier. It has to be paid by the consignee. Now, who is liable to pay the freight here under to pay model? The consignee. So the recipient shall be the consignee and the recipient is required to pay tax under reverse charge. Let's be very clear about it. If the freight is under paid model, like CIF model, cost, insurance and freight, supplier is making supplies under CIF model, freight is already included in the value of supply. In that case, the supplier is the recipient because he is liable to pay or he is paying the freight. In that case, the supplier is the recipient of the services of the GTA and the recipient is required to pay tax under reverse charge under entry number 1. I hope I am amply clear with respect to this particular entry under reverse charge, because this is a very, very important entry. Now, one more question which comes to our mind. Sometimes it happens that the recipient, even if it is a two-pay model, FOB model, even if it is a FOB model, free on board model, it means the insurance and freight shall be charged separately by the supplier, will not be included in the price of the goods supplied. In that case also, sometimes what happens is the recipient requests the supplier that please pay the freight on my behalf, although the liability to pay the freight lies on the recipient in case of FOB supplies. But still, sometimes recipient requests the supplier that please pay freight on my behalf and adjust in my account, I shall pay you. Now, the freight is paid by the consignor on behalf of the consignee. In my humble view, here also the consignee only shall be considered to be the recipient, my dear friends, irrespective. Here not the question is of the actual payment of tax, or I'm sorry, here not the question is who has paid from whose bank account. Here question is that who has actually suffered the burden of the payment of the transportation charges of the GTA. So here in our example, in the latest example, the burden is on the consignee, but which is discharged by the consignee for the time being into more proximity with the freight forwarder, being into the more proximity with the GTA. That is why consignee says pay freight on my behalf, adjust in my account, I shall pay you. So in that case, the consignee only shall require to pay RCM. But if what happens when the consignor pays the tax under RCM, whether that absolves the consignee from his responsibility to pay the tax under RCM, in my humble view, answer is no. Even if the consignor pays the tax under RCM on these type of freight payments which are paid by consignor on behalf of consignee, still the consignee shall be booking the freight amount as his expenditure in the books of accounts. It shall be required to have RCM paid by the consignee himself. Merely payment made by the consignor on behalf or on the payment made to the freight forwarder or the GTA shall not be sufficient. I hope I'm using a very simple, plain vanilla language for all our listeners, so that burdensome to understand the complexity of. So let's move ahead. Now question here is, my dear friends, what are the rates which are applicable on GTA, tax rates? We have understood that principally the services provided by GTA are under reverse charge. But at what rate the tax under reverse charge is required to be paid by the recipient, my dear friends? Now, the GTA has two options to exercise with him. GTA may opt to have his outward supplies continue to be taxed under reverse charge, or GTA has an option to charge tax on the basis of forward charge mechanism. He may choose any of the taxing system, tax rate. But with every tax rate, the tax mechanism, the collection mechanism, payment mechanism, input tax credit mechanism do get changed. So in order to adopt a particular or choose a particular option, GTA is required to be very, very careful and knowledgeable about the various provisions relevant to tax rates available as option with him. First option, he may continue charging the tax under reverse charge, wherein the recipient of his supplies shall require to pay tax. He may continue, normally the GTA is not required to get registered himself, as I told you at the very first slide, because GTA, if his all supplies are taxed under reverse charge, exemption is provided to that GTA, no requirement of registration under section 23 subsection 2. But even if he gets himself registered, he has to raise a tax invoice as per rule 46 of the CGST rules, containing 17 details which are mandatory to be mentioned under the invoice. If he raises a tax invoice and continues to pay tax on that supplies under reverse charge by the recipient, then the tax which is required to be paid by the recipient on that taxable supply, outward supply, which is taxed under reverse charge at the rate of 5%. My dear friends, I may be repeating some of the phrases repetitively at the cost of repetition, but those are necessary so that you should not miss any link between the terms used by the law and by me. So please be a little more vigilant, attentive while listening to me. Although I have reduced my speed from the beginning till now, I have continued reducing my speed wherever a particular thrust is to be emphasized or placed, so that you listeners should not miss any talk, any important significant information to make note. Although this presentation shall be available with GST Corner, you may also ping me separately. I can provide you on my WhatsApp. I shall provide you this presentation with GST Corner also. They will provide you, they will upload on their website also, and you can get it, or whatever the medium they use. So 5% rate of tax if the taxable supply of goods transport agent are taxed under reverse charge. At the rate of 5% tax is required to be paid by the recipient, who is the recipient of GTA services. If the GTA opts for this option, for tax to be paid under reverse charge by the recipient, then my dear friends, he shall not be allowed to take any input tax credit. I am talking about the GTA. GTA as a supplier shall not be allowed to take any input tax credit. I shall give you the reason behind this also. The law very well assumes, the law has provided clearly a deeming fiction under section 17 subsection 3 of CGST Act 2017 that the taxable outward supply which are taxed under reverse charge shall be treated as exempt supplies. 17.3 has deemed it has assumed it that if a taxable supply, outward supply, which is taxed under reverse charge under entry number 1, 13/17, although entry number 1, 13/17 notification is not written in 17.3 because it is relevant here in GTA, that is why I am mentioning it. It is only written any supply, outward supply, any taxable outward supply. It is a taxable outward supply, do not forget that. Any taxable outward supply, the tax on which is paid under reverse charge shall be deemed to be exempt supply for the purposes of section 17 subsection 3. And now what is the effect of having that deeming fiction in 17.3? My dear friends, rule 42 and 43 shall come into picture. Now the input tax credit, because section 17 is talking about the restrictions on the input tax credit. 17 is popularly known for 17.5. We give lesser attention to 17.1, 2, 3 and 4. All these subsections are all equally important in relevant situations. I am not going into input tax credit regime. This is not the topic today. But I am just giving you inference that 17.3 assumes that outward supply taxable under reverse charge shall be exempt supply. The moment it is an exempt supply, section 17.2 attracts, and for that matter, the input tax credit with respect to exempt supply and the common supply, common supply, the common input tax credit. I'm sorry, no, there is no common supply. Common input tax credit, which I have obtained, I have received on inward supplies for providing taxable as well as exempt supplies are required to be reversed. I'm repeating it. If RCM taxable outward supply is considered to be exempt supply, then GTA will not be having any input tax credit which is directly attributable for providing GTA services. One. If another scenario, if he is providing GTA as well as outward supply taxable under forward charge, then the common credits, common inward supplies which are used for providing GTA as well as taxable supplies taxed under forward charge shall be required to be reversed as per rule 42 and 43. 42 for input and input services, 43 for capital goods are required to be reversed. So this is about 5%. Next is 12%. Next is 12%. Now if GTA, now one question arises under the first limb. You may have a question in mind, although 37 months and today is the 6th day of the law. Many things have already been dwelled upon, discussed upon, clarified by the department, but still I am clarifying again. If the tax is paid by the recipient under RCM, the credit of that tax is available to the recipient immediately in the month in which tax period the tax is paid by way of cash by the recipient under reverse charge. Available in the same month. No question of waiting for the next month. So this is another doubt which I have clarified. Still I request, if you have anything comes to your mind, please make a note of it. And you ask me by way of your whatever the methodology is being recommended, allowed by the GST corner, chats or by raise of hands, whatever it is. Now next is 12% FCM. If the GTA takes a registration and does not opt for 5% wala route, RCM wala route, he may opt for, as per notification 11/17, entry number 9 and entry number 11. He may opt for forward charge mechanism also, but there the rate of tax shall be 12%. There the rate of tax shall be 12%. GTA may raise a tax invoice and charge the rate of tax at 12%. And then in that case, listen to me very carefully, the recipient is not required to pay tax under reverse charge if the supplier, the GTA, charges 12% under forward charge. Now in that situation, the GTA shall be allowed to take the input tax credit of all inputs, input services and capital goods on his inward supplies. But some questions which are there with respect to these issues, we have covered in the succeeding slides. So this is the tax rate. Now next question arises, invoicing with respect to invoicing by GTA or to GTA or with respect to GTA. When, listen to me carefully, first of all, I am talking about the invoicing part with respect to recipient of the supplies of services by GTA. Listen to me carefully. If the GTA is a registered supplier, if the goods transport agent is a registered supplier, in that case, GTA shall raise an invoice. The tax rate is an option to the GTA, either at 5% under reverse charge. If he opts for 5%, if he opts for reverse charge, he shall not charge any tax on the face of the invoice. If he opts, I am talking of GTA, if he opts for reverse charge, he shall not charge any tax. If the GTA is registered, he shall raise an invoice. If he opts for reverse charge, then the recipient considers the invoice, the tax invoice raised by the GTA, as the basis for payment of tax under reverse charge at the rate of 5%. 5%. And he does not require to raise any specific other invoice than the tax invoice already raised by the GTA when he is a registered taxpayer. When the GTA, supplier of services of goods transport agent, is not registered, in that situation, the recipient compulsorily requires to pay tax under reverse charge and compulsorily requires to generate a tax invoice, which is called commonly also self invoice under section 31 subsection 3 clause F of the CGST Act. So it means if the supplier of services of goods transport agent is not registered, then the recipient shall raise an invoice, and on the basis of the invoice, he shall pay the tax and takes the credit. And this invoice only, in both circumstances, whether is a supplier registered or unregistered, this tax invoice only, whether it is being self-generated by the recipient or raised by the supplier, on this invoice only, the recipient, as per Rule 36, shall be considered to be a duty-paying document in times to come. Very much a duty-paying document as per Rule 36 of the CGST. These slides are covering about, my dear friends, about the time of supply of raising invoices in case of GTA. I have given you the invoicing part, who is to raise, when is not to raise. Already told you in case of GTA rule 46 is to be complied. One question I have covered for accounts and records under section 35 of the act. What are the specific records which are required to be maintained by GTA? I'll be taking later part. But this is the time of supply in case of GTA services. In case of forward charge, invoice issued within prescribed time. The time of prescribed time as per section 31 is the 30 days from the date of provision of service. From the date of provision of service, within 30 days you have to raise an invoice. If you are raising an invoice, registered GTA raising an invoice within 30 days from the date of provision of service. So the time of supply of raising an invoice, the forward charge is date of invoice or date of payment, which is earlier, he has to raise an invoice. If invoice is not raised within the time prescribed within 30 days, the time prescribed is within 30 days from the date of provision of service, then the date of provision of service or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, shall be considered to be the time of supply in case GTA is under forward charge. GTA is under reverse charge. This is for the recipient. This is for the recipient 60 days from the date of invoice or date of payment or date of debit in the bank account. If any date, 3 dates cannot be determined, then the time of supply. Why time of supply is important, my dear friends, as per section 13 of the act? Just 2 minutes to the time of supply. Time of supply is important because the taxable event triggers the levy. Taxable event, that is the supply, triggers the levy as per section 9. Taxable event as per section 7 triggers the levy as per section 9. But when to pay the tax is guided by, prescribed by section 12(13) of the act. 12 in case of goods and services, 13 in case of services. So in case of time of supply is very important because when you receive GTA services as a recipient, when to pay the tax under reverse charge is when the time of supply occurs. And the time of supply is earlier of these 3 dates. If not 3 dates are not available, then the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of that particular supply which is being received by the recipient. And I have given you, my dear friends, the recipient in the act is different from the recipient in the notification 13/17. Listen to me very carefully. The recipient, the definition of the recipient in the act is different from the definition given in the recipient, the definition of recipient in 13/17 CTR reverse charge. Entry number 1, more specific. I am skipping the continuous supply. It is a little more detailed exercise, but GTA normally continuous supply GTA does not provide. Even if it is a routine, regular contract of supplying goods transport, still it shall not be considered to be a continuous supply of service because there are certain conditions to be complied. Now I have designed some of the questions, my dear friends, for you. Next 18, 20 or more slides. I'll be taking you to some questions. And after that, I would sincerely hope that all your questions would have addressed. Still, if you have, you may ask, no worries. First, now whether the ITC is available to GTA. If recipient is depositing tax under RCM on supplies of GTA, it is an exempt supply as per section 17(3), not eligible to ITC. GTA will not be able to, as I told you earlier also, GTA will not be able to take any ITC if the tax is paid under reverse charge. Required to reverse ITC on common credits also as per rule 42-43. If GTA paying tax under 12% FCN can avail ITC, not required to reverse anything because it shall not be considered to be exempt supply. If GTA paying tax under FCM at 5%, is it possible? Is it possible? If GTA till now, whatever we have discussed, is it possible that GTA can charge tax other than 12%? I am giving you a scenario where GTA charge tax, but at the rate of 5%. Is it possible? Please write your answer in your chat box. Yes or no? Is it possible? Yes, please. Write in your chat box. Is it possible? Yes, please. No answer yet.
Yes,
These
sir.
many people watching.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Suresh Jain Saab, I am looking at you at the screen. Say yes or no. Don't switch off your video. Say yes or no. Yes, please. No answer yet. I don't know what are we doing. Is it a Ram Katha being done by Murari Bapu? Everybody listening, no attention, nothing doing. Anyways, no answer. Anyways, moving on. Although this is not a good practice, my dear friends, you should reply. My dear friends, GTA, if has to charge tax, can only charge 12%. If he charges tax and at the rate of 5%, then it is an incorrect mechanism. It is not allowed in the law. Now, what happens if he charges 5%, not allowed as per the law? Still continue be treated as exempt supply, no ITC, and even the common credits are required to be reversed. Common credit are required to be reversed. One question arises to my mind here. One question arises to my mind here is, it may be possible that chats are being disabled by the organizers. That is why no chat, no answer is yet made. I could have, I have not put my mic inside.
Okay, sir. Just I am enabling the chat with everyone,
that
sir.
That is why, if you are able, yeah, you're saying something.
Yes, sir. I am enabling chat with everyone publicly, sir. Okay, so you
now,
will get answers.
Actually, I brought my earphone outside so that it actually in Pagdi it is difficult to keep earphone for so long.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yes.
moving on. Now you may next question I will ask you, the participants, then you reply. At least now this question I have already replied, so don't reply to this question. Don't reply to this question. Okay. Now next question which comes to my mind. Now reply to this question, my dear friends. Listen to me carefully. I will not repeat. I will never repeat, please. Unless it is not technical, I will not repeat. Please listen to me carefully. Now, in this specific situation where the GTA charged tax, but at 5%. I told you GTA can charge tax, but only 12%. He cannot charge 5%. It is illegal, not allowed. But if GTA charges tax at 5% and sends the invoice to the recipient. Now, my question to you, my dear participants, is, do we require as a recipient, because tax is already charged on the invoice, do I require to pay tax again under reverse charge? First question. Do I again require to pay tax under reverse charge? my GTA charged tax on the invoice, but 5%. As a recipient, do I again require to pay tax under reverse charge on that invoice? Answer is yes or no. Somebody say no. Many people say yes. Always better to pay. Only one, FCM or RCM. No. Sharma ji says. Very good. Okay. So here now situation is that it is a divided view. Many people say yes. My dear friends, if a GTA charge tax 5%, it is incorrect, and that does not absolve the recipient from its liability to pay tax under reverse charge unless the tax is charged at 12% by the GTA. So it means even if it is charged at 5%, as a recipient, you are required to pay legally. It is not better to pay, it is required, it is legally, you are obligated to pay tax again at 5% under RCM, take credit of the same. Whether, next question, whether you would require to take, you would be eligible to take credit of that tax which is charged by GTA at 5% on the invoice. Are you able to take credit of that? Answer is yes or no. Give your answer now. Rakesh Arora ji from Kangra says yes, you will be able to take credit. My dear friends, yes, answer is yes. If the GTA charged the wrong tax, irrespective of the fact he charged the wrong tax, as a recipient I paid the tax. As per section 16(2), it is not the question whether it is a wrong tax or a correct tax. It is the question that I have paid the tax, received the services, got the invoice, and the tax is paid by the recipient. Or I'm sorry, the supplier. 16(2), subsection 2. So I would be eligible to take input tax credit of that tax also, which is charged by the GTA on FCM at the rate of 5%, and also the tax credit which I myself as a recipient paid under reverse charge, my dear friends. So both the credits shall be available, but FCM 5% is illegal, wrong, incorrect, does not absolve, or does not remove the recipient from his responsibility, liability to pay tax under reverse charge. So next is whether ITC is available to recipient of tax charged by GTA. Now tax charged by GTA, I am a recipient. If recipient is depositing tax under RCM, I have already discussed. If GTA paying tax under FCM 12%, of course RCM, recipient can take the credit. And in case 12% is charged by GTA, no liability for reverse charge also. No liability for reverse charge also. GTA charged the 12% FCM. If GTA paying tax at FCM 5%, told you, given you the answer. Pay tax under 5% under reverse charge, take credit of 5% FCM if you have paid the tax to the GTA, and take 5% credit of RCM also, which you have yourself paid. No problem. And the RCM tax is a cash tax paid, can be adjusted to anything. FCM wala tax, which is charged by the GTA wrongly 5%, is input tax credit, can be adjusted to anything, no problem. Even the RCM paid tax can be claimed refund under section 54 subsection 8 also. Next question, what is the responsibility of the recipient? Of supplies by GTA. If recipient is depositing tax under RCM on supplies of GTA, tax is to be paid under cash. Claim the ITC, tax is to be paid under cash. You know that RCM is required only to be paid under cash. RCM cannot be discharged, the liability to pay reverse charge cannot be discharged by way of adjustment with the input tax credit. If GTA charging 5%, I have already discussed in detail with you. Summary I am not repeating. You may please read it at your level. I am not going in detail of e-way bill. Although this has been, if you would be having any question, you may ask me. This is the annexure in case of e-way bill. Frankly, this rule is worth notice. As per rule 138 sub rule 14, no e-way bill is required. I am not touching the nitty-gritty of e-way bill. E-way bill itself is a very, I would say, great subject, and sometimes I also are facing difficulty in finding the answers to certain.
Sir, we will be cover the e-way bill in our next webinar, sir. No issue, sir.
Yeah, I'm not covering that. I'm not covering that.
We will cover the
I'm just. We can have a next any time a separate webinar for that. But I'm just touching on that thing, that when the e-way bill is not required by the transporter also. Just one small thing I would like to share with you. Was just one small thing. As per rule 138 of CGST rules, e-way bill is required to be generated by the person who occasions the movement of goods, who causes the movement of goods. Occasions was the word used earlier in the CST, Central Sales Tax Act, so it still comes to my tongue very easily. But now GST has used the word who causes the movement of goods. So it could be the liability is not fixed. Who is to generate the e-way bill? It could be consignor, consignee, and the transporter also, my dear friends. Transporter also can generate the e-way bill. So I would request the organizers to please switch off the this chat, disable the chat. We can enable the chat whenever I'll ask a question.
Okay, sir, we have done.
So, but one specific situation, in case of there are some misgivings in the society, in the tax amongst the taxpayers, is that up to 50 kilometers there is no e-way bill required. Up to 20 kilometers there is no e-way bill required. Just that misgiving I would like to clarify with respect to GTA only. If the goods are being transported, listen to me very carefully, I will not repeat it. If the goods are being transported from the place of the supplier to the place of the transporter for the further supply, then up to 50 kilometers from the place of the supplier to the place of the transporter for further supply, e-way bill is not required. And the misgiving of 20 kilometers is that in case of goods transported from the place of the consignor to the weighment bridge, within 20 kilometers, the part B is not required to be filled by the transporter. So transporter details are not required to be filled. Moving ahead, rule 138 sub rule 14 talks about when e-way bill is not required. So those who have clients, GTA clients, may be required to understand these issues, that when the e-way bills are not required. One specific aspect, three specific aspects just I will be dealing in. One is e-way bill is not required in case of items mentioned in annexure. Annexure is on the next slide. E-way bill is not required when the goods are transported through non-motorized conveyance, and e-way bill is not required when the goods are mentioned under notification 2/17, exempt goods. So let's be very clear, non-motorized conveyance, e-way bill not required, exempted goods, e-way bill not required, annexure goods, e-way bill not required. Even this annexure says second-hand goods which are household effects, when they are transported, e-way bill not required. One more statement I would like to give you for your record. Listen to me very carefully. When I use this phrase, listen to me very carefully. I am going to dwell upon one very important aspect, very significant aspect. E-way bill may be required even if there is no supply. E-way bill may not be required even if it is a supply. So let's be very careful, because E-way bill is required only in case of movement of goods. So I am just closing E-way bill here. Next 15-20 minutes, we'll be talking about some other questions. We have around 5-7 slides. Then we'll shift to last 15 minutes. We'll shift to the question answer session. Now, just a second. Yeah. Now the next question is, which is there in front of us, is, can GTA shift from one tax rate to another swiftly? 5% to 12%, 12% to 5%. ऐसे ही हो जाएगा क्या? Is it so easy? Is it so comfortable? Answer is, my dear friends, no. Once a particular tax rate is opted by GTA, either 5 or 12, this rate can be changed once in its lifetime by GTA. GTA can shift from 5 to 12, but if he opts for 12, then cannot ever opt for 5 again. If 12, then opted, no 5% application. If 12 you have opted initially, no 5 application. If you have opted 5 initially, you can go for 12, but cannot come back to 5. Let me rephrase this. You started providing GTA services or started opted 5%. Go for 12 tomorrow. Go for 12 tomorrow. But once 12 is opted, can never come back to 5. And one more, if 12 is opted, it has to be opted on all GSTIN, on all transactions, pan-India transactions of the GTA. It can never be state specific on one GSTIN 5, another GSTIN 12, can never be. I know the market practice is this only. The GTAs are opting both rates, 5 as well as 12. Very difficult. Very difficult tomorrow. The tough times are ahead. Extremely tough times are ahead. Next question. Whether regular supplier shall be considered to be GTA when he charges freight on his invoice. Now listen to me carefully. I am a supplier of mobiles. I supply mobile phones. Along with mobile phones, my recipient says, please arrange the transportation facility. Now the transportation facility, I only charge the freight from my recipient on the face of the invoice only, along with the value of goods supplied. For example, a goods worth of 1 lakh supplied to my recipient, and for the transportation of those goods, 2,000 rupees are charged for transportation of those goods. Now 1 lakh plus 2,000 rupees, the total value of invoice, shall be 1,02,000. Now the first question arises that at what tax rate I shall be charging on 1,02,000 rupees. Whether 1 lakh 12% as like goods which are taxed at 12%, mobiles which are taxed at 12%, or 2,000 rupees separately, whether it is a composite supply or a mixed supply. My answer would be, my dear friends, it is a composite supply. The principal supply is with respect to the supply of goods, and the ancillary supply, the incidental supply, is with respect to the supply of GTA. Now whether that particular supply shall be considered to be the principal supply, the predominant supply is the supply of goods. So the supply of freight, the supply of GTA shall not be considered to be the supply of GTA, but the supply of goods which is mobile only, and it is a composite supply. The tax rate of the principal supply shall be applied at the rate of 12% or 18%, whatever the case may be. And now the question arises whether this supply, the supplier shall be considered to be GTA. Answer is no, he shall not be considered to be GTA. It shall be considered as a composite supply. Therefore, this freight charging on invoice would not make supplier as GTA. It would continue to be regular supplier of goods. Rate of tax on this freight shall be as applicable on goods. I hope this is clear. What is the treatment of RCM in case when regular supplier charged freight from its recipient? Now, in the same example, 1,02,000 rupees, the invoice is sent to my recipient. In this 1,02,000, 2,000 is for freight also. The moment the recipient sees a freight element, his eyebrows are raised and he asks a question to himself, whether do I require to pay tax under RCM on those 2,000 rupees also? Answer to them is, my dear friends, no, a big no. The recipient receives the supply of goods, not the GTA, because in earlier question we have identified that the supply made by the goods supplier is of goods supply only, not of supply of GTA. In that situation, that recipient does not require to pay tax under reverse charge on those 2,000 rupees also, my dear friends. He does not require to pay tax under those 2,000 rupees also. It is a very clear principle of law. No RCM on that particular invoice. I hope I am clear with that. Now next question arises. I hope that you have understood the entire PPT, because I have kept majority of questions and then answers, flow charts and like that. If regular supplier charged freight to its recipient and received inward supplies of GTA, GTA has not charged tax and issued a consignment note, does the supplier require to pay tax under RCM? My dear friends, let me rephrase the question for you. Continuation of the previous example. I am a supplier of mobile. I charge 2,000 rupees. I don't have trucks. I don't have goods carrying vehicle. I use those. I hire the obtain the services of a GTA to transport those goods. I am a mobile dealer. I supply mobile phones. Charge 2,000 rupees as freight. Hired a GTA. He provided me the services of GTA. The freight from that GTA, I required to pay the freight to him. According to notification 13/17, I shall be the recipient. Do I require to pay the RCM on that supplies which I receive as an inward supply from my GTA for providing outward supply of goods, or those 2,000 rupees? Answer is yes. He may have charged me 1,500, or he may have charged me 2,000 only, which I charged from my recipient. But I shall be considered to be the recipient of GTA services, would be required to pay tax under reverse charge at the rate of 5%. 5%. Next question. If the regular supplier charged freight to its recipient and received inward supplies of GTA, GTA has neither charged tax nor issued a consignment note, does the supplier required to pay tax under RCM? Let me rephrase this again. If a regular supplier charged freight to its recipient and received inward supplies of GTA, GTA has neither charged tax nor he issued a consignment note, does the supplier required to pay tax under RCM? Again the same question. I will twist it a little bit. Here there is a lapse in little formation of the question. Let me admit it. Let me rephrase the question in front of you. Listen to me carefully. Now, if the GTA did not issue a consignment note, he shall not be a GTA. He shall be GTO only. if he is GTO in my previous example, then the services provided by GTO to me shall be exempt. So if it is exempt, no reverse charge. This question I will take a little later. If supplier charged freight to its recipient and received inward supplies of GTA, GTA has charged tax at 12% under FCM. Does the supplier eligible to claim ITC over the same? Now in the previous example, he raised an invoice of 2000 rupees only, which I charged from my recipient. And on 2000, he charged 12% on FCM. First question, do I require to pay tax under RCM? Answer is no. Whether I will be available the input tax credit of charge 12% by that GTA to me? Answer is yes. I hope all the questions are being covered. Can GTA issue invoice under both methods? Answer is no. Only 5% or only 12%. Transaction between two GTAs. If one GTA takes inward supplies from another GTA, then recipient GTA shall require to pay GST under RCM. Now let's take an example. X is a GTA who issues a consignment note. Y is a GTA who issues a consignment note. If Y takes services of X, X raises a consignment note to Y, then on that service inward supplies from X to Y, Y who is a recipient here will require to pay reverse charge. Let's change the facts of the situation. Let's take a different case study. X and Y same. Y takes the services of X. X is GTO. He is an individual trucker operator. Y is a GTA who issues a consignment note. Now, if a GTO gives services to GTA, whether GTA requires to pay tax under RCM, please, I would request the organizers, GST Corner, to please enable the chat. Enable the chat. So in that case, because it is an exempt supply from GTO to GTA, exactly, one answer has come that it is an exempt supply. Many of majority said no, it is not required to pay tax under RCM. Ravinder Singhal ji said no, it is an exempt supply, so it is not required, no tax required to be paid by Y under RCM. Very good. Please disable the chat. So almost we are on the verge of completion. One or two aspects are left. Yes. First, this is another question with respect to it. As a transporter, am I required to maintain any records of my services of or transportation? Answer is yes. In terms of section 35(2), you are required to maintain records of the consignor, consignee, and other relevant details of the goods. Rule 56 asks you to maintain records of goods transported, delivered, goods stored in transit by you, along with the GSTIN of the registered consignor and consignee for each of your branches. So these are some of the records which are required to be maintained by the transporter. I think we have covered the majority, almost everything is done. Yeah, so I have covered almost all the parts here, and we are ahead of time. Our 10-15 minutes we have completed ahead. So now we can dedicate our time for queries of the members. I would request the GST Corner to take the charge from here.
Yes. Sir, query can be taken on chat form?
Yeah, it can be from chat form also, raise of hand also, directly live one-to-one. I can stop sharing my PPT and then you can...
Sir, actually number of participants raising their hands, so it will be difficult to cover the same.
So let's do it on chat only.
Okay, sir. I am enabling the chat, sir. Okay. So please check it.
Okay. Mukesh Dalukaji asks where to show taxable supply liable to RCM by recipient in 3B. Mukesh ji, very important question you have asked. In GSTR 3B, as I have told you at least 20 times, that the supply is made by the GTA under taxable under RCM. Taxable under RCM. So it is a taxable supply. You have to present that under 3(1)(a) only. Now next question arises that there is no tax to be paid under 3B because I shall not be paying any tax with the taxable under reverse charge. So you have to add ₹1 to each to CGST, SGST or IGST. So unless you don't add ₹1 to that, the system which does not recognize the basic principle of the fact that it is a taxable supply, but the tax is paid under reverse charge. So there is no other mechanism available in 3B for past 37 months, my dear friends. This is the only mechanism. You have to mention under 3(1)(a) in GSTR 3B the taxable supply, the corresponding tax CGST, SGST 1 rupee. You have to pay the tax 1 rupee. Then only you will be able to report. And under GSTR 1, let me give you the example myself, the reply to this. In GSTR 1, it is a B2B supply, and you have to click the checkbox which is there on every entry that it is liable to be reverse charged. So the moment it is liable to be reverse charged, the tax rate shall automatically be adjusted. If bill is of goods is worth 1 lakh rupees, 18% GST. Okay, now in case of GTA, goods receiver is unregistered person. Then what will be the tax rate and who will pay? In case of GTA, if the goods receiver is an unregistered person, it is an exempt supply, no tax, my dear friend. Amar Agarwal ji, what is the procedure to switch from RCM to FCM? Advocate Neerav ji, RCM to FCM, you can yourself switch. No procedure prescribed in the law, no intimation required to the department. But yes, if you want to be on the positive side, you can always send an intimation to your jurisdictional officer. On one PAN, I have 2 GST registration. Can we have 12% scheme on one registration? Answer is no, Akhilesh Kedawat Sahab. I have already replied your question. In RCM, which tax to pay? IGST or CGST? In RCM, according to the place of supply, if the GTA, I have given you this answer also, if the GTA is in one state and the recipient in the other state, the location of the recipient and the place of supply, location of the supplier and the POS in the other state, it shall be interstate supply, and the tax also shall be required to be paid IGST only. A person owing more than one conveyance providing services of transportation of goods and does not issue consignment, will there be a liability to be taxed under same? Answer is no. System 2. System 2, I don't know who is system 2. Answer is no. A and B को ट्रक ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स के लिए ट्रक दिया और B ने ये ट्रक C को किया ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड C ने GTA को ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स के लिए दिए, तो ये सारी ट्रांजैक्शन एग्जेम्प्ट हो गई या नहीं? तौसीफ वोरा जी, आंसर इज यस. अगर सब हायर पर दे रहे हैं, कोई भी कंसाइनमेंट नोट इशू नहीं करता, तो ये सारी ट्रांजैक्शन एग्जेम्प्ट हो गई. Question 1, I do not own trucks. I only provide agency services, but I do not issue consignment note due to following alternatives. Intentionally to avoid levy of GST. Generally, I do not take responsibility. Lien, GST liability in both cases A and B. अगर आप कंसाइनमेंट नोट इशू नहीं करते तो आप GTA नहीं होते. GTA नहीं होते तो आप GTO होंगे. आप GTO भी नहीं बनेंगे क्योंकि आपके पास कोई ट्रक ही नहीं है. तो उस केस में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि I don't know how is it possible that you cannot issue consignment note if you are agent. So it is very difficult if you are agent and do not issue the consignment note. We can discuss this at a later stage. It is a detailed query. What is the section rule not which speaks about change in opting FCM or RCM? Anil Agarwal ji, notification 11/17, entry number 9 talk and 11 talks about it. Please read it carefully. Subodh Arora, my old friend, good friend. If second hand machinery transfer from unit 1 to their other unit, then e-way bill required. Sir, this is not a class of e-way bill. I'm sorry, GST corner had asked me a question. If you have already paid and taken credit for RCM on freight of agriculture produce, and as per your explanation, we don't have to pay. If
Yes, sir.
bill of
Yes, sir. We have sent query on behalf of users, sir. Actually, the number of queries are raised so that CADE system is very much in text, sir. So I have sent the query on behalf of users, sir.
Okay, I'll answer that. If bill of freight is paid by supplier on the behalf of buyer, ये अलग-अलग queries हैं ये सारी.
Yes, sir. अलग-अलग query है, sir.
ये we have already paid and taken, तो कोई problem नहीं है. पहली query we have already paid and taken credit for the RCM on freight of agriculture produce. आपने पे कर दिया और क्रेडिट ले लिया, कोई समस्या नहीं है, रेवेन्यू न्यूट्रल है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. If bill of freight is paid by supplier on the behalf of the buyer, but the consignment was raised to buyer, then liability to pay the tax bill be of buyer only. अगर liability supplier paid, liability supplier की है, buyer की है, supplier ने pay किया है, तो buyer shall be the recipient here who is required to pay GST under RCM. An individual truck owner GTA को services दे रहा है, इसमें A के पास एक व्हीकल ट्रक है, दो ट्रक दौड़े ट्रक ओनर के टेक लेके जीटीए को प्रोवाइड करता है इस ट्रक, तो जीएसटी लायबिलिटी नहीं होगी सर. अगर जीटीओ जीटीए को सर्विसेज दे रहा है ट्रक ऑपरेटर एक दो लेकर, वो नहीं होगी. आई डू नॉट ओन ट्रक, आई ओनली प्रोवाइड, मैं दे चुका हूं इसका जवाब. बिल डिस्काउंटिंग डन बाय द पार्टी फॉर एंड बिहाफ ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टर will come under GTA whether they are exempt under GST. Bill discounting is a separate exercise, sir. It shall not be exempted. Why GTA RCM applicable on oil cake transportation? Sir, मनमोहन मोदी जी हमारे बीकानेर से हैं, मोदी साहब. जैसे मैं इनका नाम लेता हूं मुझे मोदी जी याद आते हैं. सर मुझे नहीं पता ऑयल के ट्रांसपोर्टेशन को जीटीए में ई-वे बिल के लिए क्यों रखा गया और रिवर्स चार्ज में भी क्यों रखा गया. सर लॉजिक्स उनके हैं. बेसिकली ऑयल केक ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इज अ टैक्सेबल आइटम, तो इसलिए उसमें उन्होंने अदर देन ऑयल केक उन्होंने रखा है. इन केस ऑफ फॉरवर्ड चार्ज कैपिटल गुड आईटीसी कैन बी टेकन एट वन टाइम और ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ 5 ईयर. इकट्ठा लिया जा सकता है सर क्रेडिट, कोई 5 इयर्स की लिमिट अब नहीं है यहाँ पर इस कानून में. सौरभ अग्रवाल जी, iPhone 11 Pro, sir, as per 9(3), if a registered person receives service from GTA, he is need to register. ये सवाल आपने सेक्शन 24 का पूछ लिया है. अगर आप अनरजिस्टर्ड हैं, आप एक्सक्लूसिवली एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई करते हैं और आप RCM में टैक्स पे करने के लिए लायबल है बिकॉज ऑफ 9(3), तो सेक्शन 23 आपको एक्सक्लूसिव एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाईज की एग्जेम्पशन देता है. आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं लेना पड़ेगा, भले ही 24 आपको ये कहता है कि आपने RCM में अगर टैक्स पे करना है तो कंपलसरी रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना है. तौसीफ वोरा जी, इफ इंडिविजुअल ट्रक ऑनर जीटीए को सर्विसेज दे रहा है तो इसमें ए के पास एक व्हीकल ट्रक है, दो ट्रक दुआरे ट्रक ऑनर के लेके जीटीए को प्रोवाइड करता है, तो इस ट्रांजैक्शन में जीटीए कैसे जीएसटी लायबिलिटी कैसे होगी. सर देखिए इस केस में जो इंडिविजुअल ट्रक ऑनर है वो सिर्फ इंडिविजुअल ट्रक ऑनर है, वो कोई जीटीए नहीं बनता है, तो उसको एग्जम्पशन है कि अगर वो कुछ सिर्फ हायर पर दे रहा है जीटीए को तो उसको एग्जम्पशन है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, इस पे जीएसटी लायबिलिटी नहीं आएगी. Is GTA obliged to exercise any option for RCM FCM? Yes sir, एक ऑप्शन तो लेना ही है ना उसने, दोनों में से कोई ऑप्शन तो लेगा, जो उसकी मर्जी। Is GTA, I think now the questions are over, I believe.
Yes, sir. Query will not be raised by the user now, sir. We are waiting for 2 minutes. If any more query raised by the users.
Sure.
Okay, sir.
Another
webinar is
question
very
is
good,
there.
sir.
Another question is there, whether receiver can claim input tax credit paid 5% in RCM. Nanaji Jaluri, Nanaji Sahab, I have already answered this question during my deliberation. If the 5% tax is charged by GTA under RCM, still the credit to the recipient is available. No problem, sir. Aparna, I have already answered. No, I think majority of the answer questions are answered.
Yes, sir. The query will be completed now. There is no such query, sir. Sir, please disable the announce, sir. Actually, someone is.
I don't know who has started doing it.
Yes, sir. Sir, the webinar is very good, sir. Approximately, we have more than 250 participants around 1.5 years, sir, at present. And the participants is covered all over India, sir. It belongs to a CA fraternity, advocate, and also.
One last parting remark. If you have actually liked it, then please give your response in your chat box. And if you have actually liked the deliberation, then you certainly go for the GST corner also, and you will like the material, information, promptness articles also available on GST corner.
So one more query raised.
Yeah, Rajesh Popli ji says, if one assessee is having own more than 10 trucks, is he required to take registration? Sir, if he continue giving these 10 trucks on hire, still he shall be exempted, sir. Ram Babu ji, HP petrol pump dealer receives amount for transportation of petrol from depot of his petrol pump. Is it taxable? Sir, it is taxable. Many of us have already asked me this question. This particular transportation of petrol pump charges is basically something different in nature. So it shall be a composite supply. It will be taxable. If you have some detailed question, you have already may already be having my number. You may send me the WhatsApp or you may call me anytime. Please tell about passenger bus operator providing GTA services. Sir, that also if it is on hire, then it is exempt. But if passenger bus services, how can passenger bus services can provide GTA, transport agency services? It is a difficult situation. Freight charges paid on Nhava Sheva port to USA or China. RCM applicable or exempted? Sir, RCM is applicable in this. RCM will not be applicable on import freight charges paid on importation of goods. We have paid GT under our 5%, then we have to recover the transport cost from our customer. Then what tax rate charge on invoice from customer? Pankaj Bahel Sahab, I have already replied this answer. You would charge the tax rate at which your goods or services are taxed, with which you are with which you are supplying these GTA services also. Please tell about, okay. I think, so those, I think we have already covered again, next 3-4 queries which came. So if you have actually liked it, so send your comments, and on which topic you would like to have a webinar by me or by the GST corner, you can send the a suggestive list of topics also.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we add you in our webinar group so that if any query remains in a GTA, so you can
Yes, sir. Why
give the
not?
answer?
Why not?
Okay, sir. We will add you in our webinar group, sir. On this. So we are receiving a very good response on the webinar, sir. On the publicly and the privately also. Sir.
That's your effort. That's your effort.
So,
GST
sir, it's
Corner
your
team,
effort,
the
sir.
entire.
What you have delivered, sir. So,
So
can we close the
should we-
session, sir?
Yeah. I believe yes. Now still 125, 30 people are joined with us. So that's a good number. I would like to thank each one of you, my dear friends, those who have spared their valuable time and come to this platform and uh, listen to me patiently. And I would request to continue bestow your blessings over me with your continue blessings like this only. And I will try my level best to learn more and more and share more and more with my fellow colleagues, friends, brothers and sisters.
Sir,
GST Corner, thank you very much. You also, please now.
we are very thankful to Rajan sir and our participants to attend the webinar on GTA and giving us time of 1.5 hours to listening the patiently, and we have a very good number of attendees who have continuously receiving the guidance done by the Rajan sir. We are very thankful to Rajan sir again, and we will try to provide again any more webinar with the Rajan sir in upcoming future time. And if the participants have any more query, you can post the same on a WhatsApp so that the sir can deliver the same. Okay, we are very thankful to you. Sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. तो बस बात कर लो सर से